Today, no music production, no DJing tutorial, nothing like that. Today, we have to talk about Spotify and a couple of things that are going horribly wrong and that need to be solved as soon as possible. Hey my friends, welcome to the studio. It's already quite late. I've spent the entire day sitting there in front of my huge monitor working on a new song for the album. Getting closer and closer to finishing one after the other track. It's right now actually going faster than I thought, but as you know, like the last 5% usually take the longest, so we'll see how it goes. And I've been not only working on songs, I've been also starting to think for the past couple of weeks how actually to promote these kind of songs, how to make sure a lot of people actually listen to the album. And to be honest, I've been really like, I don't know, I'm like the music system is a little broke at the moment. I'm not sure how actually to promote songs in the right way. As you know, Spotify is huge, streaming is huge. My label and most other labels make like 80% just with Spotify sales. And just to get it out of the way, I love Spotify. I love streaming. As a user, it's like the best thing ever. You pay a small amount per month and you can access any kind of song. You can listen to everything on the go. You don't even have to download it. You can just hit play, listen to it. It's like all of the music on this planet in your pocket. On the other hand, as a musician, there are some things that I don't like, and this video shouldn't be like the usual I'm annoyed by Spotify because they don't pay that much. That's actually not true. If you hit enough plays, you can actually make way more money than let's say 5-10 years ago, where everyone was illegally streaming music. It's not as good as with CD sales and vinyl sales back in the days, but it's still the best option in this modern internet connected world. And to make it really clear, I couldn't live without Spotify, like the income from Spotify. I make 90% of my money with my music that I make. So me as an artist, all of that money to 80% comes from Spotify. If Spotify wouldn't exist tomorrow, I would have like a huge problem. So I depend on Spotify, but there are some systems that just do not work and actually harm the music in general more than they actually help. To understand that in the best possible way, I think we have to start with how Spotify is actually paying artists. We will get to the juicy stuff that is going wrong later, but first you have to understand how actually artists get paid. It's actually quite simple. Spotify collects all of the users' money, all of the monthly fees, all of the money from advertisement, because there are still people that do not pay for Spotify, that have it for free, which makes everything a little more complicated. But in a nutshell, Spotify collects all of that money and is then dividing it by the plays. Let's just take a small example. Let's say there are just 2 songs on Spotify. If one makes 80% of the streams, the other 20, all of the money that is collected is split into 80 and 20%. So actually what you as an artist earn from Spotify can really change depending on where the stream comes from. If it was streamed from someone that is actually paying like the full monthly fee, if it's someone that is just using the advertisement, I think it's fair, really fair. So you might be asking yourself, where is the problem? Let's get actually to the how artists advertise their music on Spotify. How do they get these kind of plays? Because that's where the shady stuff is happening. So let's say you as an artist, you worked on your single, you released it on Spotify, all other streaming platforms, and then you promote it on your social media. You tell your friends that you got a new song out there. And what usually happens is you have like maybe 500 streams within the first week if you just take like your family and friends. So to get more, you of course need to build up a fan base. So you could be someone that already had like a small track that was played a lot in clubs by DJs. And maybe you got some airplays here and there. And more people will know about you and your music and listen to your songs. So you might be with like 10 releases further in the future at a point where you make like maybe 200,000 plays in the first month. That's already great. Congratulations, you're at a point where you can, with a little bit of luck and being smart and maybe playing some shows, live of making music full time. Now, the next step would be to actually invest money into promoting your music. You could do it by paying for Facebook, Instagram ads to get attention to your song, which usually results in you spending a ton of money and not getting any return because the price is quite high, and every single person you get to listen to your song, that's actually not a lot. It's just like half a cent. Even if everyone that clicks on your ad listens to your song 10 times, it's not worth it. If you sell sunglasses, then it might be worth it because every customer is paying 80 euros, 100 euros. So there it makes sense. With music, not really. Then there's airplay, which is like, it's just for the top league of artists. Maybe you're lucky, you're one of a million that has like a overnight success hit, but that's not something you can count on. The easiest and best would be to get your song into a Spotify playlist. There are millions of playlists out there that belong to Spotify, and these make the most plays. If you get added to a New Music Friday playlist in your country, it can be like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 plays within the first 2 or 3 days, depending on where you're positioned and which country. It's actually happened to me with, I'd say like 3 or 4 songs in the past 2 years. It's a huge boost. You get a ton of plays, in return get a lot of money, but there's one thing you don't really get from that. Not really getting new fans, actually. You're not building up on something. You have this one song, it's performing, you make money, that's nice, but it's not like converting people into knowing you as an artist, following you, listening to other songs by you. The percentage is extremely small. And that's because most people open Spotify, front page, electro, chill, whatever, click on the playlist, hit play, and that's it. It's then just like playing. Yeah, it's basically a radio replacement. But on the radio, at least, people told little stories about the artist, said the name, said the song title, played the follow-up single. That's not happening on Spotify. And there's actually no way to make sure you get onto one of these Spotify playlists. Spotify lets you pitch your song to them, but this doesn't really help. You actually need to know the person that is making the playlist. I know a lot of artists that have good contacts with Spotify. It's actually not really allowed. Spotify doesn't like that and tries to keep it out of the public eye. But if you're a huge artist and you're best friends with the guy that makes the playlist, which is like a 4 or 5 million follower playlist, it's like printing money. So as a smaller artist, you only have the opportunity to try to get into private playlists. It's the same as the Spotify playlist, just way less followers and way less people actually listening to the music. So a 50,000 Spotify follower playlist will get you a decent amount of plays. A private playlist with 50,000 followers, maybe a tenth or even less. I don't actually know the ratio, but it's a lot less. And now starts the shady part, like to get into these playlists that are owned by private people or companies that have a lot of them, but not Spotify, you have to pay. There's no way getting into one of these private playlists without paying. The people that own them, by now, they know how much they're actually worth. So if you ask someone that owns a playlist, if you can even find out who it belongs to, they will ask you for 10 euros, 20 euros, 50 euros, 100. Depends on the size. They might send you the stats. And yes, it's kind of like the replacement for radio promotion, that you also had to pay someone to pitch your song to the radio and get plays. But this is like, I don't know if that's the right way how music should be promoted. And again, yes, you get a lot of plays through doing exactly that, but you might end up with like a profile. I know people, they have like 5 million monthly streams on their music because they're doing this a lot and they're spending a lot. They have a lot of plays, but actually no one knows who they are. They don't play any shows. No one is talking about them. Their Instagram is like pretty much non-existing. Yes, they make money, but they also need to spend money to make that money. So they're kind of feeding money into a system and get it back, losing a little and having like this promotional value that that isn't really one. And what makes it even worse is that people that make music that is really shitty and have a lot of money, they do that all the time. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you now know how Spotify is paying everyone. So these, I don't want to call them fake plays because actual people are listening to these kind of songs, but they're in these playlists kind of hidden. So they take away the place of music that could be potentially discovered by people that is maybe better, just made by someone that doesn't have that amount of money to spend. I think we can all agree on this being unfair. And a lot of you might be now thinking, yes, it's unfair. That's just how the world works. Just play the game. But it gets even worse. Here in Germany, a YouTube channel actually made a video about how rappers or their management actually buy plays. They hire someone, that person spoke in that interview about how it's actually done. They hire this person to get fake plays, to place the song into playlists, hacking accounts, having a ton of fake accounts. And for like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 euros, you get into the Spotify charts. So if you've ever wondered why so much shitty hip-hop German, it's really trash, is in the charts, that's why. And why do they do it? Of course, you promote your artist, that artist gets shows, the next song will be easier, you make money back. But the bigger part, the bigger reason why they do it, and I'm sure some of the artists don't even know that that's being done behind their back. Some of them are so stupid they actually think their music is good and people like it and buy it and they're like the coolest dudes ever. But in reality, this is used to laundry money. Let's say there's someone that has like a shisha shop selling drugs, making a ton of money, not wanting to pay any taxes. They just put their illegal money that they could otherwise not use. They give it to that guy that gets them all of those fake plays. And then they get from Spotify an income, a money back that is like clean and they can just use it. This makes everything a lot worse. It's definitely distorting the music industry. It's definitely putting people on top of the charts, giving them a lot of attention that do not deserve it. And you could say they spent the money, get the money back. No one is really harmed. But since they spent the money and then they get into the charts and get a lot more plays, they again make money off the back of other artists that don't do this kind of shit. So I really don't know what to do with my album, how to promote it, also how to further promote songs on my label. Because, yeah, actually the more illegal your promotion method is, the actually more you kind of make. So you see, this entire system is shit. It's just shit. It's not how music should be discovered. That's not how the music world should actually, I mean, it was always shady and there was a lot of stuff also already done in the past that is similar to this, but this is now huge. Like, this is working in a way bigger scale, and again, it's distorting the music world, the music listening habits a lot more. So the next part would be to think about a solution, and it's definitely 100% Spotify's responsibility to take care of this. I think they need just to check way better where the plays are actually coming from, make sure to ban people off the charts if something like this goes public. And when it comes to the paid playlist pitching kind of thing, I don't know. It's like, it's a fine line. I don't know if this is something that should be allowed. I mean, the only way to prevent it would be to get rid of all of the private playlists, which would give the Spotify playlist more power, and artists that are not in contact with Spotify would suffer even more. On the other hand, it's really paying for plays. Yes, those plays are real, but you still pay for it. I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. If you ever thought about this entire system working in this way, if this information is new to you, and what could be done to change that? Because if this continues, we will have to listen to a lot more shitty music in the charts. And a lot of young artists, a lot of young talents that could make money do not make money, which of course at the end will hurt the listener, because they might not even discover this artist one day because he doesn't even get there, because he's not getting his fair share, because it's stolen by playlist placements and by illegal chart manipulating kind of money laundry thieves. If you speak German, I will link down below the video that it was referencing to with the hip-hop artist. It's like, it really hurts. And yeah, it just leaves me still like, I don't know how to continue promoting music. I think like the social media stuff, again, it's just like throwing money at Facebook. I don't like that. Spotify playlists, placements, maybe. And fake playlists, of course not. No. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know if you enjoyed this, but I hope you got something out of this. And yeah, maybe, again, just leave a comment down below if you have any idea how to prevent this kind of system, because it will definitely change the future of music if it continues like this and no one is doing anything against it. So also Spotify should really try to address these kind of things. I will continue working on my album, of course. I'm not doing anything else in the past couple of, it's almost 2 months. So yeah, sign up.